evolving science of nutrition, we are learning that different folks may do better on different foods, but most of us require beef. You know, for one reason, there is no food which offers you as much high-octane protein as beef, and iron and zinc and B12. And a rigorous weight loss diet which drastically reduces nourishment is too drastic. Most of us require meat. And there are more calories in a chef's salad than in 4 ounces of lean beef. And there's no more cholesterol in beef ounce per ounce than in skinned chicken. So, winter weather, when you get up and go has got up and went, you notice how much more energy, how much more joy of living awaits after a nourishing meal, which includes a hearty serving of beef. The Beef Industry Council and the Beef Board are so proud that what is so good is also so good for you. In Los Angeles, it appears that actor Gary Busey is recovering from his serious head injuries. Meanwhile, the California State Legislature is considering whether to require bikers to wear helmets there. There is a derivative of vitamin A which does help smooth wrinkles. It does help reduce the damage to skin that has been overexposed to sunlight. 2 years of testing at the University of Michigan and elsewhere confirmed that the drug can remove some of the marks of time from your skin. In fact, Dr. Barbara Gilchrist, Boston University School of Medicine, calls this the most exciting thing to happen in the field of skin aging in this century. Now the bad news. You have to be willing to put up with weeks and perhaps months of soreness and peeling. The product is marketed by Ortho under the brand name of Retin A. If you're anxious about radon gas in your house, the Mayo Clinic Health Letter recommends getting an Alpha Track detector. Hardware stores have several. Recommended is the Alpha Track detector. The health letter also suggests that you do not panic because radon is really not much of a menace unless you also smoke. Of all of the patients who have been diagnosed with AIDS over the past 7 years, all of them do not equal the number who die every month from tobacco. Now, this is a medically related progress report. Last May, a town was selected for testing of a wellness program, the town of Wellsburg, West Virginia. The Bayer Company undertook to educate and motivate the entire population of 11,000, improving diet, reducing stress, exercising, not smoking. Now it has been 6 months, and we can report progress. In fact, rather dramatic progress. A health screening reveals fewer smokers, lower cholesterol, reduced weight, improved pulse rate, less body fat, and lowered blood pressure. The scrutiny will continue, and we'll watch that. Incidentally, Wellsburg had a very high incidence of heart disease. A London hospital, St. Bartholomew's, has stopped admitting any new patients because flu is sweeping the wards there. In fact, most doctors and nurses are homesick. You know, when you're outdoors on a winter day, you see those water droplets in your breath. You know how you see your breath? Now, those droplets are always there, summer and winter, indoors and out, and they can contaminate anybody you breathe on. Page 3.
Does loss of vision or other handicap deprive you or a friend of the joy of reading? Hello, I'm Susan Sullivan, here to tell you about Choice Magazine Listening, a free service of the nonprofit Lucerna Fund. Every other month, Choice Magazine Listening will send you, on phonograph records, unabridged selections from leading magazines featuring writers such as Carl Sagan, John Updike, William Styron, Joyce Carol Oates, E.L. Doctorow, and many others. So, if you're unable to read because of blindness or other handicap and would like a subscription to this 8-hour audio anthology, completely free of charge, write Listening, Box 10, Port Washington, New York, 11050. We'll also tell you how to get the special record player provided free by the Library of Congress as part of its Talking Book program. Write Listening, Box 10, Port Washington, New York, 11050, or call 516-883-8280. That's 516-883-8280. Thank you.
In Kilgore, Texas, there's a fenced house with a sign out front that says bad dog and even badder husband. Colonel Oliver North, speech-making now to try to pay his escalating legal fees, has scheduled a speech at the Sands in Atlantic City, February 11. Retired Major General Joe Potter is dead. He's the Army engineer who helped plan the World War II Allied invasion of Europe, and without him, there never would have been a Disney World. He was 83. The FBI has just cracked its biggest ever undercover drug operation against Colombian drug dealers. Can you imagine 5 million pounds of cocaine, plus more than 200,000 pounds of marijuana seized just in this past year, along with $4 million worth of cash and property? 93 people, Colombians and Americans, have been charged. Oh, numismatists, did you hear about Barry Faintich of St. Louis? He has a dollar bill which somehow slipped through the engraving process without a treasury seal, without a district seal, with no serial number. It is indeed one of a kind. It's worth whatever a collector will pay. Today's bumper sticker makes a sharp point. Marshall Miller saw this one in Lilburn, Georgia. Bumper sticker says, "Every fur coat hurts." You have heard that the defrocked televangelist Jim Bakker has been indicted, fraud 15 counts, accused of diverting millions of dollars donated to his ministry to support his own extravagant lifestyle. Now, these are criminal charges. He could go to prison for 120 years. Wife Tammy Bakker was not indicted. The fallen preacher has been trying to start over with a small congregation in a roller skating rink. Weeping, he told that congregation that if he thought it would help Christianity, he would get a gun and blow his head off. Jessica Hahn, the woman who was his downfall, responded, "If he wants to blow his head off, let him." A diamond wedding anniversary being celebrated today, though, in Clay, Kentucky. Modest and George Wilson. It's the first time I ever heard a girl named Modest. They call her Maud. Plays piano. She sings alto beautifully. Modest and George Wilson. 75 years. Now, this got to be the world's ugliest insect. Alongside the Libanocytus vittatus, the cockroach is cuddly by comparison. The Libanocytus vittatus, king cricket, or ugly nunu, is fat, spiky, and oily. In South Africa's most affluent neighborhoods, this thing will climb through windows and squirm under doors to scavenge for food in the kitchen or to crawl into bed with revolted residents. It has come out of the woodlands into the suburbs, and for some reason the numbers are swelling rapidly. And they'll eat anything, sometimes each other. They'll munch dog droppings on the lawn. They'll hide in shoes. They'll drown themselves by the score in private swimming pools. And they are aggressive when threatened. They'll jump at you. Their bite draws blood. So far, no poison has affected them. You kill one, it squirts large amounts of stinking black fecal sludge. You wake up and find one in your hair. It's an experience you will remember. My goodness, I hope it isn't your lunchtime. Page 4. This is the season of the year more than any other when Americans appreciate Neutrogena hand cream. Now, the reason, of course, is that it was designed originally for Arctic fishermen, and if anything will heal the hands of Arctic fishermen in that saltwater environment, you can imagine how bride-like it'll make and keep your hands. This season of the year, many of us are discovering some of the things that the Neutrogena company won't let me talk about. How convenient it is. Well, I use it on my lips. Dainty ladies tell me they use it on their elbows or on the heels of their feet so they don't snag their stockings. And I'm certainly not supposed to tell you to use it on the chapped nose of your dog, but it sure does work if you do. Some of us use Neutrogena hand cream in wintertime for, well, whatever and wherever, you're assured no more moisturizing protection from any product than from Neutrogena hand cream, however you use it. You've heard said modern Japan has been built to be earthquake-proof. Apparently not. Today, an agency of the Japanese government guesstimates that if a major quake should hit the Tokyo area, up to 150,000 people would die. And they say a 7.9 quake could do it. A separate Japanese survey suggests that any such quake is highly unlikely. Dick York, the actor who played the frustrated husband of Samantha in the television comedy Bewitched, Dick York is now 60, confined to his home with emphysema and a degenerative spinal disease. But even there, he has founded an organization called Acting for Life, raising money for the homeless and hungry. Now, for what it's worth, Department understands there's a place called Seventh Heaven in Hyannis, Massachusetts, for believers in astrology. Seventh Heaven is a store run by an astrologer, Jerry Gianandrea. For believers in astrology, you can go there, and Jerry Gianandrea will tell you what's going to happen before it happens. But she didn't know what was going to happen yesterday, or she would have called the fire department sooner. Her storefront window caught fire from the rays of the sun shining through her crystal ball. Paul Harvey. Good day.
And now, here's new news locally from Charlie Muth.